Good evening and welcome to the news roundup for Monday the 4th of September. Before we get into the news, please remember to like this video, share your views in the comments, and share the video with your family and friends.
Reach them! Always make sure the message reach them!
Now for the news in detail. Former Cabinet Minister Philip Palwell's phone was cloned and his bank accounts hacked by scammers who are demanding US $50,000 from him to not make his information public. Palwell on Sunday confirmed reports that his bank accounts had been hacked and a substantial amount withdrawn after he attempted to make a withdrawal at a local financial institution. He said checks with other financial institutions at which he holds accounts showed that attempts had also been made to hack them. Days later, he was contacted through a number he did not know with a male voice telling him that his phone had been cloned and they had access to his email, pictures, personal and professional messages. Subsequent to that, I have been receiving threats that these persons now have 20 years of my emails, WhatsApp, and other things on my devices, and that they intend to scandalize me for having sex with underage girls. I can say definitively that I have never had a relationship with anyone who is underage. He said the caller threatened to make public the information, including correspondence with his clients, unless he deposited the US $50,000 to a Nigerian account that was provided. Again, my response is that all my legal work is above board, said Palwell, who is also an attorney. According to Palwell, he contacted the local police. My phones have been subject to scrutiny and I am determined that these culprits must be brought to the book. I am now aware of who some of them are and the links they might have to local people. We are going to be pursuing those matters and I intend to ensure that they are fully prosecuted, said Palwell, who is the Member of Parliament for Kingston Eastern and Port Royal and the opposition spokesman on energy. He said that international investigators traced the account which he was asked to pay the money to the United Kingdom and shut it down with some US $600,000 already in it. And they told me that one payment to that account was for US $42,000 from an account in Jamaica, added Palwell. He said he refused to pay and on Sunday received reports from the political and the personal colleagues that they have been sent an email with images that were on his phone. Palwell said, despite the threats, he has no intention of giving in to the demands from the extortionists. Absolutely not. I believe that we need to resist these people. In fact, it is likely that more and more of this is going to happen now that there has been a clampdown on scamming. I believe more and more people are going into hacking as they believe they can use this against people. I believe we need to resist that and I will resist them especially because I know there is nothing illegal on my devices, declared Palwell. It was a case of murder and immediate jungle justice in Westmoreland on Monday morning, after a businesswoman was gunned down and their alleged killers were subsequently attacked by machete-wielding residents in a bizarre turn of events. The deceased has been identified as 39-year-old Lativa Helps, also known as Lati. Reports indicate that Helps, who owned and operated Lati's sports bar and restaurant, arrived at her establishment shortly after 8 a.m. when she was confronted by a gunman on a motorcycle. The men allegedly asked her to identify herself. She reportedly attempted to run off but was pursued by one of the men who shot her multiple times in the upper body. It is understood that as the men tried to escape, they were struck by a bus whose driver had witnessed the incident. The gunman reportedly ran into nearby bushes and was chased by scores of angry residents, who police say chopped one of them multiple times. He later succumbed to his injuries. The other is said to be in hospital in critical condition. Helps' cousin, who spoke on condition of anonymity, told reporters that she had been robbed on Friday night. Additionally, she had fallen victim to another robbery just 2 months ago. The Bagwalk police in St. Catherine have arrested a man in connection with the death of another man who was bludgeoned with a metal pipe. 52-year-old Kevin Brown, otherwise called Badhead, a laborer of Azar Lane in Bagwalk, died in hospital. Reports are that about 7 p.m. on September 2, Brown was allegedly attacked by the 40-year-old suspect. The deceased was reportedly threatened by the suspect 3 days prior to the incident. Brown was found bleeding profusely by a resident and taken to the Linstead Hospital. He was subsequently transferred to the Kingston Public Hospital where he succumbed to his injuries. A 25-year-old woman who reportedly suffers from mental illness is suspected to have stabbed her 61-year-old mother to death in Bryant's Peace, Clarendon on Sunday. The deceased woman has been identified as Mary Abbott. The Frankfield police say about 2:30 p.m. both women were at home when a dispute developed. It is alleged that during the dispute the suspect used a knife to inflict several stab wounds to her mother's body. The suspect later turned herself in at the Frankfield police station and made a report. When the police arrived at the home, Abbott's body was seen on its back with several stab wounds to the upper body. The lifeless body of a man was found lying on an old refrigerator near a gas station on Oakland Drive in St. Anne's Bay, St. Anne on Sunday morning. The body, which up to press time was still unidentified, was found by residents who summoned the police. It was reported that around 6:30 a.m. a call was made to the St. Anne's Bay police station by concerned residents. On arrival, police saw the body of the man, who appeared to be in his mid-30s, lying on its back on the refrigerator under an ackee tree. Police said blood was coming from its right ear as well as the back of its head. The body was clad in a burgundy t-shirt and short blue jeans pants and was barefooted. 69 taxi drivers have been killed since the beginning of the year. On Saturday last, a taxi driver operating on the halfway tree to Price Right route in St. Andrew was murdered by criminals, allegedly for extortion money. He is just the latest victim in a concerning trend where taxi drivers have found themselves targeted by violent criminals. According to statistics compiled by the Transport Operators Development Sustainable Services, there were 23 murders of taxi drivers in 2018, followed by 17 in 2019. The number doubled to 34 murders in 2020 and has continued to rise since then, with 41 murders in 2021 and a peak of 57 in 2022. A snap raid conducted by members of the Westmoreland Proactive Investigations Unit led to the seizure of a Taurus 9mm pistol and 2 rounds of ammunition in Delviland, Little London in the parish on Sunday afternoon. Reports are that about 1:30 p.m. the police were in the area when they raided a premises and found the illegal firearm and ammunition. 2 people were arrested in connection with the seizure. Investigations are ongoing. A 73-year-old woman is to be questioned by police investigators after she allegedly killed her 74-year-old husband during a domestic dispute at their house in Cabbage Valley District, St. Elizabeth on Saturday. The dispute reportedly stemmed from an argument over the contents of the victim's will, according to the police. The deceased has been identified as Arthur Townsend, a farmer of Cabbage Valley. Reports are that shortly after 4 a.m., the couple had an argument, during which the woman used a sharp object to stab Townsend. An alarm was raised and the police were alerted. Townsend was assisted to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. In business, Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clark has defended the approximately Jamaican $15 million per month bill to cover operations, including salary payments at Fraudit Stocks and Securities Limited. Questions have been raised after Finance Minister announced Friday that the government would be temporarily covering the operational expenses at SSL. Workers at the company reportedly staged a protest recently over the non-payment of their salary for August. Clark, in a statement on the matter, declared that the government's intention is not a bailout of investors at SSL, but to further the investigations into the massive fraud at the investment company. He explained that the monthly support to SSL is broken down into salaries for 22 employees, amounting to about $9.5 million per month. Operating expenses valued at $5 million, as well as legal fees and other expenditures. He has promised to provide a more fulsome update on the costs being borne by the government as soon as all the information is available. The Finance Minister also disclosed that the support being provided to keep Stocks and Securities Limited operating is on condition that every legal effort is made to recover and monetize the assets on the company's balance sheet. He said this is the duty of the temporary manager and the Financial Services Commission. In sports, Jamaica Reggae Girlz will receive all money due to them this week, says Jamaica Football Federation General Secretary Dennis Chung. Following their historic round of 16 appearance at the recently concluded FIFA Women's World Cup in Australia and New Zealand, the Reggae Girlz are due a huge payday based on their exploits. Apart from the US $60,000 that each individual player will get for reaching the round of 16, they are contractually due 20% of the US $1,870,000 prize money the Federation will receive from FIFA. According to Chung, they will also pay off outstanding money owed to the girls from last year. We are finalizing all payments due to the girls, officials and management. So everything up to the World Cup will be paid. All the debts coming from last year, we are going to liquidate them. So by next week, everything will be done and everything will be in place, he said on Friday. Chung revealed that FIFA decided to send the players' money directly to them, and they were also working with FIFA to set the tax payments to the Australian government. The prize money will be coming into us, and we will pay the portion to the girls. But everything is being worked out in terms of the amount. The money that FIFA will be paying directly, they will be withholding the tax that is due to the Australian government. And on the entertainment scene, the Massacre Headline Streets Festival, held at the National Stadium on Saturday, was a hit with dancehall lovers. The third staging of the event, which was introduced to the corporate area after stagings in St. Anne, saw cameo appearances from Jashi, Leela Ike, Chronic Law, Taurus Riley, Malidon, Popcorn, and Tentic. These jockeys who set the tone for the live acts included Boom Boom, Shucklebuss, Chrome, and Copper Shot. Street was held in partnership with Dragon Stout, as well as Pepsi, Willcome Creative, Elite Creations, and SMA Talent Agency. And that is it for your news roundup for today. We would appreciate you liking this video, leaving a comment, and sharing the video with your family and friends. Have a good evening and see you next time.